Hello everyone. In this video I'll cover everything you need to know about the quest Shortage, which is given to you by Therapist, and it's more than likely going to be your very first quest from Therapist. So, it's a pretty simple quest. You just need to find 3 Salewa kits in raid, and you need to hand them into Therapist. Couple things to know: they don't need to be full HP. If it has one use and it's still found in raid, you can still give it in. Let's cover the rewards. So at the moment you get 2000 XP, 15,810 rubles. You actually get 15,000 flat rubles if you don't have any intelligence centers, 2 car first aid kits, 4 painkillers and 4 immobilizing splints. And let's not forget the 0.03 therapist rep, which is pretty good early on. So, what I will show you now is my recommendations of where I would get the Salewas early game. Okay, so first of all we'll start off with the only guaranteed way to get Salewas. So if you head to your hideout and head to your med station, which can be level 1, which crafts instantly. Once you head to this level 1 med station, I know mine's level 3 at the moment, but at level 1 you'll have this craft here. It will be for 2 East March tourniquets and 2 car first aid kits, which a lot of people start off with. You just need to get the fuel for your hideout, and you can start crafting these, which in my opinion is the best way to get it. I'd recommend playing Tarkov normally until you accidentally come across them, and just have these crafting in the background. However, if you don't want to do the crafting for this, I will quickly show you my favourite or recommended locations to find Salewas for early game. Just early game, so it's not going to be any key rooms or anything, it will just be early game for the start of wipe. So, I'll see you there. Okay, so I recommend going to Crack House on dorms. So what you can definitely do is, once you head into here, take a right and you can loot the duffel here. If you run over to the left, you have a medical container, which can definitely contain Salewas. Anywhere around this body med spawns can spawn. You can get things like morphines, which you need later. You can also get Salewas, which we're after. Every shelf here can spawn a Salewa, as there is currently a CMS kit. If you run over here and go into this room here, there's a med case, not a med case, sorry, there's a duffel bag here. You can always loot that. There's a scav here. I recommend searching him because they can be found on scavs. It's pretty rare, but they definitely can. If you run up here to this little door here, there's a little secret scav. If you crouch to loot him, you can definitely find a Salewa on him there. If you run upstairs, and we're going to ignore the library room because we're just here for Salewas. If you take a right, Salewas can be pretty much on any shelf here. They can be along the shelves, or not the shelves, the tables along here, all the way along. And they can also spawn on here. Then the third and final room or spot in this building would be in this room here. Pretty much everywhere there's like a little gap can spawn a Salewa. And honestly, I've come out this room with 3 or 4 at once before. So that's pretty decent for just one room or one building. So the second place I would go is Fort, which is just there. So I will see you when I get there. Okay, so now we are in Fort. One thing you can do is run down the end here. I've seen it spawn on here. All these little like cinder blocks or concrete blocks I have found Salewas on. Then we go find the loose spawns in this room here. Along with all the provisions on the floor. You can definitely find Salewas around here. And you can loot the duffel that is here. Once we leave this one, we will head upstairs. Upstairs is where it's more lucrative. So once you're up here, you can find Salewas over near the end, over here. So Salewas can spawn anywhere on the floor around this body. they can spawn in this medical crate. If you're only looking for Salavas, you can start having a look at this and just, oh, that's not bad. I'll pick that one up. You can just see if there's a 2-slot item in loading. If there isn't, you can just stop searching that container, if that's the only item you're going for. Once you finish that, you can come over here and loot this medical crate. And this can also contain Salavas. There is a couple other places you can definitely get Salavas on this map. I'm not going to cover them all, but I am going to cover just one more on customs, which will be next to the giving tree, just because the giving tree is so potentially valuable. I'll show you where that one is. Okay, so once we have reached Old Gas Station, if the scavs don't kill you, if you take a right down here, this is where the giving tree is, and any item in the game can spawn here. As you can see, we just got, in my opinion, the worst gun in the game, right here. And this little med bag here, if you loot this one, there's a good chance you can get a Salewa from here, or nothing like I did. And if you run over to the corner here, you can also get a cache. You can definitely get Salewas on pretty much every single... Actually, you can get Salewas on every single map. For instance, they spawn in med bags, sports bags, wooden crates, weapon boxes, ground caches, buried caches, and medical supply crates. And also airdrops. And there's really pretty much any way you can get loot, you've got a good chance of obtaining a Salewa. I would cover every single map, but that would make this video go on for a really long time. If you want me to make a video where I cover more Salewa spawns, please let me know. But I think that should be good enough for you, since if it's your first wipe, you'll probably be running customs quite a bit. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments below. If not, I'll see you in the next one. But for the rest of you, I'll read out the mission description, just because I think it's cool. Hello, Mercenary. Are you interested in a job by any chance? Very well. The job is not hard for a gritty man like you, and you won't get a short end of the stick. I can always provide food and drinks, and, most importantly, qualified medical care, in cases of almost any complexity. And for my loyal clients, who do not mind helping me with my business, I offer preferential terms for goods and services. But it's up to you for the future. If you prove that you are reliable. In the meantime, here's a simple task. I need to obtain a few emergency medical care kits. They are called Salewas, the red ones. Know these? And as proof that you can get things done, I want you to find them with your own hand, and not just buy them from someone. It's always a pleasure to work with someone you can rely on.